welcome to And Then I Became a Dad. It's your boy Don here, and I got my brothers with me again.
Josh.
London.
And today we got a special guest, our very first guest on the show, our brother, John Brickhouse. Brick, say what's up to the people and shout out your dad stats.
What's up, people? I am a father of 3 girls, ages 6, 4, and 2. I'm also married for 6 years.
Yes, sir. So so John, the first thing that all of us say when you say you got 3 daughters, we go, ooh, like Josh just did. Ooh. So to start off, let's just start off with that question. What's it like being a father of 3 girls? So you got your wife in the crib and 3 baby girls running around, and currently no baby boys yet. No baby boys yet. So what's that like, bro?
I'm outnumbered, bro. I'm stressed. I'm surprised I ain't gray. But nah, it's cool. It's cool. It's not like I come from a family of almost all boys, and my sister's a tomboy, so it's not even like, it's just foreign territory as far as being gentle and patient and et cetera, all the things that come with being a dad and having girls, especially coming from all brothers, where my whole background is being quick with a comeback, and it's like, girls, I can't be busting on them like that, you know what I'm saying?
Not without them crying. You know
but I think it's it's kind of different. I'm the youngest of 6, and the next closest in age to me was my sister, but like I said, she played sports and she was really kind of tough, got into fights with boys, not girls. So stuff like that was it's been an adjustment, really, to be honest. Yeah, an adjustment.
Yo, that's love. So there, are you starting to see some tomboy and will any of your daughters kind of rough with you, or all of them are like
they rough with each other. They always fighting, and that was the thing that surprised me. I'm like, y'all supposed to be girls, like, sit down. What are y'all doing? Like, they'll be playing with dolls, and then next thing you know, the dolls go flying across the room. They start hitting each other. I'm like, what in the world is going on right now? So,
yeah, that's love. So John, one of the other things that we know about you is that you got a lot going on. So you do, if you can kind of, and we're gonna all speak to this. How do you, from your perspective, and then brothers, we're gonna pass it along. How do you manage to balance being a father and then also having the other things going on? And first, John, can you just let people know like the other things that you got going on, and then talk about how you balance it all?
I am a musician, and I'm a music director of a couple bands, and I play at several churches. I kind of help out at different churches too whenever time allows. But ever before COVID, I was basically waking up, going to work, actually waking up, dropping Noel off, my oldest, off to school. Like, all right, bye, see you later. Then I'm going to work, and I'm at work all day. And then as soon as I'm done work, I'm headed to rehearsal of one of the choirs of some sort. And then going from rehearsal back home, or picking them up from grandma's or wherever, and then getting back home. All right, kids, bedtime. So as far as balance goes, life is kind of like, it's not really balanced. Just from a macro level, I think anybody that works a 9 to 5, not from home, or you have to do something else after work, or you're far from work, depending on what time you put your kids to bed and your work hours, it's kind of hard to balance having those alert and meaningful hours with them, because fellas, how it is at work. After you get off work, you kind of don't want to be talking to nobody. You don't want to be bothered. You don't want to be doing nothing. You don't want to be asked about nothing. You just kind of want to chill. And having 3 girls definitely makes me have to turn it on. You know what I'm saying? And I try to be more conscious of it. Like, all right, I got to turn it on. They excited to see me. I'm like, all right, I'm woke now. Come on, all right, give all the daddy love. All right, cool. And then it's bedtime. So that part is kind of sad, but trying to find little things to make memories
Yeah.
in those moments that we do have, you know.
Yeah, see that's good there. Josh, you got two daughters, man. So you one step away from being right in John's
Gotta catch
shoes.
up, bro. Like Byron.
Yeah, all right.
I told Byron to catch up.
My kid already. I definitely can agree with my brother John. It is very. I don't know if I would call it balance because I just do like I work crazy hours. I work overnight graveyard shift, so I have to sleep. And by the time I sleep, wake up, kids are ready. So like, oh, dad, there's no in between. I'm just learning how at the age now. My daughters should be 5 in the end of this month, and the other one will be 4 in October. So yeah, like this is the age where you can bring them around and kind of have a little bit more control. No, it's a lie. I ain't really control. A lot, but a little bit more control where you can take them out and be a little bit more independent. But so at this point, I have to take them everywhere I go. There's no really. I mean, I guess you could call it balance. Like when you look back, oh, look, that's what I did. All right, cool. But I really don't have no. There's no kind of plan or anything. It's just I just do it. I'm tired.
So Lon, you got some stuff going on as well, good brother. Talk about how you balance out with little Lon, spending some time with him. Because what it sounds like from the brothers is it may not always be like I can spend a massive amount of time, but maybe it's just making sure it's making sure being intentional in those moments that you do have with them. So can you kind of speak to how you are when it comes to little Lon?
Well, I would say now outside once I'm like because I'm working from home, like once I'm on lunch break, as soon as I come downstairs, come on, daddy, come on. So he would for my lunch, he wanted to play. So we may play for a little bit. And then I'd be like, all right, Len, I'm tired. Or let me take a moment, let me get a breather. And like, you know how kids are. They make you play because then you feel bad because you're not playing with them. I think as far as balance though, as soon as I get off work, I kind of like it's like my turn, kind of. It's like, all right, let it's your turn, and I try to let Donnie do what she do as far as like, when she want to go up watch the show. It's not always like that, but then even with like, for instance, how we doing the show, it's like trying to be intentional and letting her know it's like, all right, well, I got this. You trying to plan ahead and then seeing how can you find time where you're able to do what you need to do, and then also have those fun moments of whether it's playing or just acting goofy or bedtime, trying to read to them or watch a show. You just try to find those little moments.
True. Yeah, same here. I'm in the same boat with little Don. It's the same thing when I get lunch. Well, because I'm working from home and he's small, so I just try to, give Elisa a break every now and then, and I just grab him and, play with him for a little bit, just because, but it's, Lon, you said a word there. You said fun, just trying to make these fun little moments and stuff. And so we're gonna bring it back around to John. Question for you, John, and then we're gonna toss it around. Talk about the joys of being a father. Talk about because of course your kids got some age on them. They're 6 and your oldest is 6. And so you've been through some non-COVID moments. All of you have. I haven't. I'm just, all I know is COVID parenting. But talk about the joys of fatherhood. Like, what are some of the things that you guys enjoy doing? Yeah.
I love it. We have music time. And it's hard to kind of balance that too if it's an actual project that I got to work on and I'm doing something. It's like, Daddy, I want to sing, I want to dance, Dad. I want to play. Can I play, Dad? Come on. I'm like, all right, come on, just for a couple minutes. All right, come on. And then we have fun making up songs, making up music and stuff. So them taking an interest in what I'm interested in is a great feeling. But by them being girls, especially my oldest, she's like cheerleader, dancer, Broadway musical, want to sing every time music comes on TV. No matter what it is, I could be trying to watch X-Men. As soon as it come on, here she comes. I feel it. Every time music come on, she's like, I just can't help myself. I'm like, all right, music and dance kind of go hand in hand, fine. But it's I really cannot explain the joy of coming home and just having your hearts running up to you, just excited and happy to see you, and just like seeing them at peace and seeing them joyful brings me joy, you know. And I think kind of backtracking to the other conversation we're having about balance when it comes to like the fun and everything like that. I think it's difficult for me, at least, to balance the fun and then the strictness, because it's like, they've been having fun all day. They going crazy. Hey, listen, you gotta listen. I mean what I'll say. Listen, like, you gotta go pick up your toys, okay? The structure. You got, so it's hard trying to balance the structure and not be the mean parent. It was like, oh, dad's no fun. He always makes us clean up and sit down and be quiet. It's like, well, y'all was running around for 3 hours straight. Like, what you mean?
Who else want to touch that? Anybody want to touch the balance of trying to be strict and fun at the same time? You know, having to go through that. I know who the enforcer is out of the group. I already know. I'm looking right at him. My brother London right there. I know he's the enforcer.
I mean, I have to be the enforcer because London, man, with Donnie, he'll give her a hard way to go. So it was just like, I'm like, London. And when you get there, he'd be like, okay, Daddy, sorry, Daddy, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, but are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? I don't need you to do this. Don't do that. But he's, oh man, I think just to touch on the question though, one of the joys is just watching them grow. It's like bittersweet because you'll see them like growing and how they act and how they respond and the creativity that they have. But then part of me get a little sad, like, man, they growing up. I mean, he's growing up. So it's like, it goes so fast. Oh, man.
All right. Josh?
That's true. I agree. I think for me, I am actually a disciplinarian, but I have fun. So like, here's the thing. My kid may do something wrong, and I have the stern face, the stern look. But because of and I'm not saying because of girls, but because of the girls, I'm like this. All right, you good? Because I love you. I love you so much. Give me a kiss. I overdo it after I just yelled at him. Like, so, God help me with that. You know what I'm saying? A little, that's balance though, right? That's balance.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. So
I pray for that, because I be like, I ain't no sucker. Look, I said, sit down. Now I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah, that's love. That's love. Josh, talk about the joys of being a father, though. Hit that point real quick.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, my kids are they're growing so fast, and actually, it's mind-boggling actually, because my kids, at one point I used to be able to talk on the phone and be like, who want to talk to my daughter? And they'd be like, who is it? I'll do that now. They'd be like, Dad, nobody's on the phone. I'm like,
yo.
I really have a good time with it, man. I think a good thing is when my kids are listening to me tell a story. We have like bedtime stories, and I make up the craziest stories as I go. I have no idea what I'm about to talk about. Like, I really don't know. Like, it's fun, but I'm like, all right, what am I talking about tonight? And they'll be listening like, oh, what? And so that right there, like, that is amazing. That makes me so happy. Like, no one else would listen to my story like that. So my kids are my biggest fans. You know what I'm saying? So I like moments like that, man. It's dope.
That's love. That's love, man. So kind of, what goes hand in hand with joys, sometimes we have struggles. And so, John, since this is you're new to the show, and we want to get your perspective, talk about some of the struggles that you've had in fatherhood. Like, pick a moment and just talk about how struggle and how you kind of got through it.
I kind of touched on it lightly, but basically the adjustment of coming from a male-dominated family to kind of have to shift my mindset to pink and butterflies and rainbows and unicorns and you know what I'm saying, and trying to take put it this way, I'm not even trying to be like real like deep with it, but like as a kid, my dad, he was around and we had fun and everything, but the one thing that I noticed about him was he was a provider. So all he did was work all the time. He was a hustler. He was fixing TVs. He built the table that my family sat at because it was 8 of us. So he had to build the table because they don't sell one big enough. So like just seeing that growing up, once I became a dad, that's kind of the mode I kicked in. And I don't know if y'all can identify with it, but a lot of times when you're task oriented or goal oriented, you leave out the emotional stuff or you push the emotional stuff to the side. So a lot of times I'm pushing my own emotions to the side, and then I end up pushing others' emotions to the side. Like, no, it ain't about how you feel. It's about getting the task done or getting the job done. So it's like trying to find the balance, I guess you could say, between that.
Got you. Anybody else want to touch that? Some of the struggles in of fatherhood.
I was just gonna say one of the struggles I think in becoming a dad was trying to, like, for me and Donnie, I think the earliest stages of being a dad was as if she'd been a mother all her life. And I'm like, yo, that's my son too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, so now you're trying to learn your spouse and you both are trying to learn how to parent together, which was like at first it was a struggle. And then one of the things I think also was a struggle is just, you're trying to learn, man. Like you really trying to learn when to discipline, when not to discipline. Should I be real strict? Should I be real stern? How, you're just trying to really figure it out. I think that's one of the most challenging areas.
Yeah, that's real.
Something that I struggled with was just if I'm doing it right. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, London, you said, am I being too strict? Am I being too soft? Do I intervene here? I don't, only God knows, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think we're all doing a good job, you know what I'm saying? And you learn.
That's real. Yeah, it's something that Lund said, and Lund said a lot of stuff that sticks with me on the real. I ain't just saying that because he's my brother, but he said it was something that his grandma would always tell him, and that's just, you do the best you can. That's it. Did I get that right? I get that right? Your grandma said it?
I quote it all the time, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I think about that, especially with what you just said, Josh, that it's like, you don't really know. You don't. We really don't know. And to a degree, my old head brother Eric said, we were having a discussion about something that was going on in my family. And he said, at the end of the day, you could have two people from the same family, the same background, same mom and dad, twins even. And one could go to jail and the other one could be the most successful in the world. And I think a lot of times, all the time, it comes down to decisions that your children make in life, ultimately. That doesn't give us a free pass to say, I ain't got to do anything. I could just fall back and not be intentional. You want to put as much as you can in them, but at the end of the day, it's going to be their decision whether they follow what you say or don't. And so I think, again, I'm fresh on it, very fresh on it all. And I think, the thing that keeps falling in my head is love, Just as long as you love your children and spend time around them. The other day, and I feel like sometimes the Lord just give me these different things, and I just feel like, word, topics to talk about. And I wanted to save it for another show, and maybe we really will get into it another time. But the mindset of, or the difference, the distinction between presence, CE, and present, TS. You know, and I think sometimes, and I'm guilty of this when it comes to my nieces and nephews, that I love them so much and I don't have enough time in the day to give to them. And so I just give them presents when I can. But I recognize that that can be hollow. And I say this because the other day, and I'm not going to take up too much of the time because I don't want to, I really want to get you guys' mindset on that. But the other day, I remember giving something to one of my nieces and nephews, and they just walked away like, "Oh, cool, thanks." And like the mindset, like that was something I use every day, and it's not a bad thing. It's not like I was like, I'll get a shirt off my back, but I get to the point where I say, okay, it's probably bigger if I spend time with them, not just buy them stuff, than it is for me to just buy them something, for them to feel a love and a connection. They probably they're not going to open up and talk to me more because I bought them the newest this, that, or the other. They'll open up and talk to me if I spend more time with them and get to know them and get to hear what's on their mind. And so, anybody who wants to jump in on that concept, can you talk about the distinction and how that plays out in your relationship and your fatherhood? Presence versus presence.
Me, I was growing up, being the youngest, I was kind of spoiled by everybody in my family, but I always valued the quality time and the family time, like everybody all together, spending time together and everything like that. That was always big for me. And like now, being an adult, I'm seeing it from their perspective from when I was a kid too. Like I was seeing like my dad working a lot. And it's like understanding, like, yo, he had 6 kids. Like he had to provide, like, by any means necessary. And then the time that we do have, just make it count. Simple as that. But as far as giving presents and everything like that, as far as me and myself being there, I think that is a lot of the struggle. I kind of touched on it earlier when I was talking about getting home from work, and you just kind of want to chill out, you want to relax, you don't want to be bothered. So I think it's a lot that goes into making sure that we're present. You know what I'm saying? Like having the presence of mind and acknowledging, yo, you checked out right now, come back. Like you just staring off, like you just trying to be somewhere else. And it's not even that you're not happy to be there or nothing like that. It's like nothing wrong. You just not there. You could just be tired, and you're like, all right, I'm home, I'm here. Especially in this day and age, if you got pulled over coming home, and you like, all right, I just need to sit.
You're on edge.
Like I just need to sit. I need to chill. I need to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Josh said something a little while back when he said that sometimes one of his daughters would say, "Daddy, focus." Daddy, remember that? Josh, talk about that.
I think I was talking about. I was on the phone and I was handling business. Like the thing is, like you're working, you're doing all these things, and I was on the phone. And my daughter, she looked at me. My oldest daughter, she said, "Daddy, focus. Now put your phone away. It's about us." And I was like, "Oh," because it's not like I'm out here like doing, you know what I mean? I'm focused on my kids. Like my oldest daughter had to tell me that. So I was like, all right, you know what? That's the Lord talking to me. So some real, like I think that that's the thing I struggle with, the whole presence. Like because on one hand, like you want to provide for your children and your family, and you want to you want them to have everything they need, and then sometimes that pulls you away from like to society today. Like you're just working all the time. You know what I mean? Like you gotta work. Like you gotta work a 9 to 5, and then it's the way it is. We do what we gotta do. So what you gotta say, John?
I got a question for you, Josh. Do you find yourself trying to find that balance of the giving of the presents, like by them being girls? It's like for me, I don't want them to become materialistic and ungrateful and just like, oh, I got all this stuff or I'm better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to instill in them, yo, appreciate what you have. Like y'all really got it real good. This is a luxury, right, and this is a necessity.
Right.
Like, and it's like, all right, you only 2 years old, you only 4 years old, you only 6 years old.
Right.
But like, how can you actually, you know what I mean, convey that coming from an adult mind? It's like, all right, try not to let that, you know what I mean, like fester or carry on.
I know, because it's so young, right? It's just like, because you want to teach them. I do want to teach them principles in life, like giving, and like even when Christmas time comes, like I don't like when family members all, what you want for Christmas? I'm gonna get you. And I was like, all right,
Right.
listen, I just want to try something different here. You know what I mean? The
Right.
society, every year it's bigger and bigger.
Right.
Now I want this. Like, some people want to buy gifts that's like, I would say, no disrespect to none of my family out there. But like they might want to give a gift that's a little bit inappropriate for the child. Like you might give that to a 10-year-old, and you're like, that's my, and you're like, I'm trying to teach them something. So it is kind of hard because you want to teach them to not be materialistic, not to be focused on just receiving gifts, but about giving and love and family, spending time with family. That's a struggle. But as the years go by, as they get older and they can understand, and I think it'll be a little better.
Gotcha. Lon?
No, I think everybody made really valid, good points, man. I think a lot of times we love out of our experience. So I seen a quote where it said, sometimes we focus on giving our kids something we never had as opposed to giving them something we never knew.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I had to think about it like, wait, what? So what am I doing? But I think even in what we're discussing is being intentional in the presence and being present. I think in that we can identify how to love. That's how we learn who our kids are, like their individual personalities. And like, because you're able to watch, you're able to gauge, and then you're able to connect to see what they like, what they don't like. You know what I mean? Just because you're trying to figure out ways to communicate love towards them. And I think as they grow older, over time and us being present, we're able to, identify how to be, love them according to not just how they can receive it, but based on what they need. Because sometimes we don't always know what we need. Like just like the discipline. I don't think I need to be disciplined, but I need to be disciplined. You know what I mean? And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna beat my kids. It could be a simple, no, you're not doing this, or you know what I'm saying? But I think presence is very important. And I think giving them things is important just as much as being present. Because then they feel like they don't have to go somewhere else to try to receive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. One of the things I notice about my son, and he only 2, but sometimes I be too, we be so far ahead sometimes. I always say that. But he was doing certain things because he was like, dance, daddy, dance, daddy, dance, sing. You know what I'm saying? Because I realize sometimes I do that with him, and I just stop. I'm like, honey, you ain't gotta do all this stuff, man. Like, you don't have to perform, you know what I mean, to get my attention. And that's something I realized. I was like, I gotta be more intentional about. You don't have to do certain things for me to love you or to have my attention. That's one thing I want to, stress as well. But you learn those things as we continue to be fathers.
Yo, London, you hear the piece that, and we coming up on the end of the show, but London, that wording you just used just reminded me of our relationship with God. How like we don't got to do a whole bunch of stuff just to get his attention. Yo, that's beautiful, bro. I don't think there's anything left to be said after this on this episode. Look, this was a blessing, John. We appreciate you being on with us, brother.
Too short,
Yeah,
yo.
man.
I know, bro. It seems like it was so
bring me
fast.
back, man.
Yo, John, we will
Bring me back.
on another time. We're gonna bring you on.
I got a lot to say. Pour it out.
But John, before we go, let's if you don't mind taking us to the throne, if you could drop a prayer for us, good brother.
Lord, thank you for bringing us brothers here for the first time, hopefully not the last time, Lord. Just thank you for giving us the mantle of fatherhood, and thank you for being the best example of a father that we could ever have. And please help us to continue to strive to be the best fathers that we can be for our children and the best husbands that we can be for our wives. There's so many more things that we could ask of you, Lord, but help us to be intentional about being in your presence so that we can know how to be present with those that are closest to us. We thank you, we love you, and we praise you. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Man, thank you.
Amen. And you viewers out there, we appreciate you for tuning in, and definitely hit us on social media. If there was anything that we said or anything that you want to input, definitely throw it on the comments and let us know. And we would love to mention it or chime back at you on social. So we thank you for even just watching. And so that's the end of this episode. We appreciate all of our brothers for coming out. We appreciate y'all for watching. And we will catch y'all next time on And Then I Became a Dad. Peace. Today's episode is sponsored by Able Office Admin, the go-to virtual assistants for small business owners.